everybody, this is Slazer Gaming here once again. I'm going to do a real quick run through of what I use as an Illidan build and the basic engage rules and whatnot for when you go into a team fight. Now, first off, the talent build that you want to use. Start that. At level 1, I always take the evasion shield, the shadow shield. Grants 312 point shield for 5 seconds. At level 4, you have a lot of good ones, but the really good one, which is really the only option at this point, is the immolation. It burns enemies for 63 damage a second, 4 seconds when you use it, and the ability only has an 8-second cooldown, and your basic attacks reduce your cooldowns on your abilities by 1 second. So I always take the immolation. At this one, I used to take Thrill of Battle because it reduced your basic attacks even more. But then I watched a guy play and he said that the best way to go is First Aid, because regardless of the cooldown ability, the First Aid gives you that little bit of health you need more to survive in the combat. The ultimate is really battle dependent. If your team is doing really good at the beginning and you're pushing really good, go ahead and take Metamorphosis. It transforms you into the demon form ability, dealing 100 damage in the area, and you gain 400 temporary health for every hero you hit, and 20% increased attack speed for 18 seconds. So in other words, if you're in a big team fight and you can time it just right, and you have someone who has a group stun, say for instance a Johanna, whether you're a Johanna, you can time it just right that Johanna pulls everybody into the middle and stuns them. You would get, at level 20, you would be getting 100 damage in the area, plus you would get 400 for each one, so you'd be getting an additional 2,000 health, and you'd be getting an additional 100% attack speed for 18 seconds. If your team, this is also a really good one, if your team is not doing so well and you have a lot of retreating where you do skirmishes, where you go in and do some damage and you run away, Metamorphosis can be used as an escape. You can summon it away from the team where you can run away. If you're doing kind of an even exchange with the other team, the Hunt is a really good one to take. You charge an enemy and the range is pretty good. For this map, I'm going to go ahead and take the Hunt just to show you what the range is on the map. As you can see, I'm standing inside my gate and I can almost charge to his gate. So it's got a pretty large area that it can go on. So you don't have to worry about at level 20, if you want, you can get the global range. But depending on what you're doing, if you've taken the Hunt and in late game your team starts losing it, take Bolt of the Storm. It allows you to get away by teleporting. If you're still doing really good, take Nexus Blades. It increases your attack speed. But for now, at level 13, I once again take Sixth Sense, which is another shield one, which reduces damage from abilities for 50% while your shield is active, and your shield lasts for 2 seconds. And for 5 seconds you have the Shadow Shield. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one. Now this one, sometimes I take the Hunter's Onslaught. A lot of people have started taking Second Sweep. I always take Blood for Blood because it gives you, not only does it give you another damage ability, it heals you for 10%. Oh no, I apologize, it does 10% damage to the enemy hero and heals you for 20%. Alright, and last, I take Nexus Blades. Okay, first off, one of the things that Illidan is best at, I'm going to go ahead and crank this down to where I normally am, is once you hit level 4, take the Evasion, Shield, and Immolation, this is where you can start taking camps. Now, where you started in is you go Q on one of them, you shield, and then you dash. And then you focus down on one. And then once you've got about 2 seconds left, you do it over again. After your initial entry, you shield after you dash. And then go back and focus on the one that's almost dead. And then once you only have one left, you can dash and shield pretty much as soon as it comes up. Alright, now, once that's done, For bruiser camps, it's a little more difficult. Now these ones are going to be a little more tricky because you can get lower on health, but you can still do it at level 4. And once again, you dive, shield, dash, and then you focus one single target down. Once you've focused him down all the way, you can continue on from there. And you don't have to dive on the target that you're focusing on, you can dive onto other ones to increase the damage done to that target. Like you see there, I'm focusing on the magic, but I'll dive on this one and dash to the magic again. As you can see, I'm almost dead, but if you keep pushing and keep down with your auto attack, you can get the health down, the shield back up in no time. And just like that. Now of course you will have to be alright. Now we're going to go ahead and crank the level up to say 13. 7th level. Alright, Shadow Shield, Immolation, First Aid, the Hunt, 6th Sense. Now, once you have level 13 talents, when you go in on them, you dive on the far one, you dash, and then you shield. And then once again, you just keep doing it. And you do that until the first one, the one that you're focusing on, goes down. And then let yourself auto attack until your shield is back up, and then dive and dash. And then for bruiser camps, same basic thing. Dive on the magic guy, dash out, focus on one of the tank ones. Once you get down to about 4, dive, dash. And keep doing that until you get at least 2 of the tanks down. Because by doing that, you will eventually get rid of the magic guy entirely, just with the dives and the dashes. Like that. And there's your camp. Now, we're going to do refresh again so that Arthas can come back full health. Alright, now, normally, let's reset the level. Let's go to level 1. We'll choose Evasion Shield. Refresh the forts. Now, when you go in for the first time, you want to try to stay hidden. Especially if you're going against a tank in your lane. Like this one will have Arthas. You want to try to stay hidden. Now, if they start approaching your lane, you need to move out of the bush and run away. But once they've engaged, you can dive on them, dash, and then shield. And then you can take them down like that. Now this guy isn't attacking me because it's only the trying thing out, so he's just pushing his lane. But when they stay in a lane like this, you can just go ahead and kill them. Alright, let's do 7th level. Let's crank it up to level 10. Let's say we just get our ult. Immolation, First Aid, and the Hunt. Refresh the forts. Okay, now, for this type of engage, if you've had the back recently, and you've got your ult, and you have, say, a teammate coming up from the bottom lane, who's coming up through this part, you can use your ult on the Arthas. Dive him, shield, and then dash. And you want to try to stay kind of where the minions are in between you and him, so that you can keep see the immolation coming up on him. And then for pushing forts, always you want to push with your minions. So we'll wait for the next wave of minions. Now, we'll dive on Arthas, dash, immolation. We'll keep focusing Arthas until he goes down, and then we'll focus minions. As you can see, immolation did a lot of damage to most of the minions. And once the minions go in, we'll dash in on the turret. We'll shield, get behind the turret. Only do this if you have very little enemy resistance behind you. Then run away, wait for your turrets again. Dive in, ults back up, we'll ult him even from this close. You can ult him when you're in a team fight like this. half health, so we'll use the heal. We'll dive on the back minion, and we'll knock the other ones down. Now we can go back in, and we're back to almost full health. Got the shield up. This tower has no ammo left, so we'll continue focusing on it. We'll dive across to the other one. We'll jump in and shield, get out of that tower's range. Do this, get rid of the tower, the wall. Do this and this. Constantly staying out of range of the other thing while doing maximized damage. Then we'll focus on the tower to get it down. Now, minions will go in, we'll dive on them, and we'll focus them down. Now that the minions are in, we'll focus on the well. Number one, because it disables enemies from being able to, it prevents them from being able to heal when they go back. Always leave the walls up if you're an Illidan pushing in a lane, because it keeps an ability for you to dive on. Okay, I've healed him, we're gonna ult. We're going with the shield. Gonna keep diving and dashing. This is why Illidan is so much fun to play, because you literally just bounce around on the screen. Just constantly diving and dashing. And you can shield to prevent the turret from doing any damage to you if you accidentally close in too close. Dive in on Arthas. Focus him down. We'll shield up. The turret's fixing to be shooting on us. We've almost got Arthas, so we'll stay in. Come over to the wall. Shield up. And then start taking the minions out. Back out. Ult in. Once again, keep diving and dashing all over the place. Now, once you get him down, once we get him down this time, we'll dive on the tower. And even though it's going to be shooting at us, it only has 3 shots. So we can shield through it. Now that the shots are out, we'll run away since Arthas is up. Focus the minions down. We don't worry too much about Arthas at this point because we've got him under control. If this were a rematch and you had the enemy under control in this way, you wouldn't worry about him too much. Now that the tower has no ammo, we can dive straight in on it. Do this, shield up now, and we'll continue taking the tower, dodging around it to keep Arthas away from us. We've broken through the first tower. And then from there you would go on the core, basically the same way, dodging and diving and shielding around. Now, let's do this real quick. We're going to back. Once we get up there, we'll go to level 20. Set the level, refresh the forts, take the evasion shield, immolation, first aid, the hunt. Actually, no, this time we'll take metamorphosis. We'll go 6th sense, blood for blood, and nexus blaze. You can go demonic form if you want, which puts you in his ult permanently until you can use it again. I don't like taking that. I used to, but I found that regardless of it increasing your attack in the beginning, Nexus Blades increases your attack by 20. Attack deals 20% more damage, and they slow the target. Alright. Minions should be spawning in soon. Set level, set. Reset talents. We'll go evasion shield, immolation, first aid, metamorphosis, 6th sense, blood for blood, and this time we'll take bolt of the storm. Now say you were in, let's go under the tower, this absorbs some damage. Let's say you were in under attack and combat and you were taking a lot of damage. Almost there. Okay, you've taken a lot of damage and you're trying to run away. You've shielded and you've dashed. You come across an enemy who gets you. you can do this and blink away. You went from here to where I'm standing here, instantly. We'll use the heal, shield, and then we can ult in. Blood for blood if you're low health, and then you just take them down. The only thing is you don't have the increased damage or speed because of the Nexus Blades. Okay, let's reset the talents. Let's take Shadow Shield, Immolation, First Aid, Metamorphosis, Sixth Sense, Blood for Blood, and I'm going to show you what the Demonic Form does. Well, once the ult gets back in, I'll have to do some auto attacks. Alright, now, we're on the tower, it's coming down quick. We can ult right there, get the explosion damage on both towers, and look, time bar is gone. We are now permanently in this form of the demonic transformation. And now all the damage that we did when you hit a hero stays permanent. Now we can dive on him, and then dive out. That's why you want to do and use walls to heal yourself, because not only do the basic attacks heal you, reduce your cooldown, they also heal you. We're going to stay on the tower since we're in demonic form. You can see it's going down pretty fast. And done. Now, with demonic form, one thing you can do is, once again, I have to wait for the cooldown. You don't lose your ult because you have a permanent ult. You still have it, but once you're in permanent ult, you can mount up and you actually fly in permanent ult, and you can still re-ult. For an escape or for an engagement or anything like that, you can still re-ult once you're in permanent form. And I do believe that it increases the basic attack again. So, and that is how it's done, the different abilities. But like I said, for me, really the only way to build him is Shadow Shield, Immolation, First Aid, the Hunt, or Metamorphosis, whichever instance you're in with your team. I normally go the Hunt now because Metamorphosis just doesn't cut it anymore. And the Hunt gives you, while it is a single stun and only for 1 second, it allows your allies to focus on him for that 1 second. Because once if you watch, I'll show you very quick. When you have the Hunt, when you have the Hunt and you ult, a little green circle appears above their head, so the allies know which target to focus on. So if you can always keep them up with that, you can keep them focused on the right one, and you will quickly dispatch them. Alright, let's finish off our this. And that's how it's done. Alright guys, thanks for watching my take on the Illidan build, and I hope you learned something from it. And if you use it and you do really good on it, using this build, please comment and let me know what you did, what map you were on, and what you ended with deaths to kills wise and damage wise. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe.